Hey everybody, welcome back to another Saturday from On the Frontline live report. You know, it used to be reporters would have been feeding you back information from the front line, on the trenches, on the Western Front or the Eastern Front, wherever it was. But now we're at the point where reporting back from going out to the shops during COVID times is a revolutionary act. And that's quite amazing to me, really, that, you know, we've been reduced to this situation where, excuse me, if you actually even go out at all now, it's fraught with issues and challenges. So I've been out, as is my way, and had a little potter about. There are new. I was really amused to read the new restrictions are being lifted where I live on Monday coming. But although restrictions are being lifted, it's not going to be quite the same. So the all-knowing authorities, the people who know everything, unlike us mere plebs, they have decreed that from Monday, if you're in a shopping centre and you're going around, you're going in and out of different stores, and you decide, I'll nip into McDonald's or Starbucks or Costa's or any coffee shop. Well, if you do that inside a shopping centre, you've got to provide your name and details cause reasons. Seriously, this is what they've now determined from Monday. That's going to be the case. So in other words, so if you go out to a restaurant, you have to provide these details because it's so important in the fight against COVID. It's really important. And so similarly, if you go into a coffee shop in a shopping centre, it's going to be exactly the same. So I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. Now, obviously, that's causing all kinds of problems to those parts of the hospitality sector who thought that when things reopened, it would be back to what it was before things closed last December. But no, doesn't work that way. I keep telling you this one. We're not going back. If the people behind all of this have their way, we're never going to be going back. Meanwhile, so stupid rules like that, that's how it's going to be. Couple of other things, just going in there to one of the major stores, fun to see all these people, almost like an act of religious worship, taking the wiping down their trolley handles because those are so potentially hazardous and dangerous. I mean, there's so much science that proves that the little COVID virus lives on the shopping trolley handles, but yet not inside the basket for some reason. Strange that, isn't it? Because people put things in and out of the basket. But no, don't worry about that. Just follow the regulations, will you, please? So that they do their little ritual of washing or cleaning down the handles of the shopping trolley. Naturally, they've got their masks on, even though, of course, one can be lawfully exempt, as I am. They do all that, and then they wander around inside. Half of them, because it's so warm and so obtrusive, they've got their masks down to here. So that's really maybe missing the point. But there's no doubt about it that the masses have been completely hypnotized and swallowed up by government propaganda. Maybe they think they're doing the right thing. That's possible. Maybe they don't think at all. That's possible. Maybe ultimately it just demonstrates that we've got a lot more sheep in this country than those that have got four legs and to be found in fields. But so I watched them all doing their rituals, the COVID rituals as I call them, as they enter the store, and then inside, of course, they're picking up things or touching things that other people have touched. So there's no logic to it at all. And there never was meant to be any logic to it, in my view. I think the enforcement of masks, which has now fallen apart in the States, as I'm sure you've seen, and I'm sure it may fall apart in the UK, but it may be that people here have become so captivated by it, so entranced by the idea that they think they are safe by wearing these little cotton masks, which the nanoparticles of COVID, were there any COVID around, would go straight through. But that doesn't matter. They take their masks off, so they've been breathing out into these masks. The masks are then shoved into their pockets or into their purses. Yes, Jed, indeed. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining, by the way. They do all this without any real logical thought, because if you think about it, that mask has now got contamination on it. You've stuck it in your pocket. You've stuck it in your handbag. Can you not see what you're doing? Is this all too difficult? Hi, Aidan. Hi, Legacy 1980 guys. Thanks for being here with me. And thanks, by the way, to all those who have recently watched our YouTube video on the whole NHS tracing app, by the way. That's something, if you haven't watched it, do watch it. It's done really well for us. Hi, Jane. Hi, Ian. Nice to see all you folks joining me here on what is a pretty grey Saturday afternoon. I think there's going to be rain ahead, so all those outdoor beer gardens are going to look so fantastic later on, because at the moment in Northern Ireland where I live, indoor hospitality doesn't reopen until Monday, and then with the usual limitations, so that's what Saturday morning means. It means going out amongst the sheep, watching. And some of them, you can tell the look that they give people like me, the unmasked, the unvaccinated. It's essentially like almost like being treated like a leper by them. But they're the people who, in actual fact, are behaving irrationally. I'm behaving extremely rationally. I have concluded that, this does not constitute a threat to someone in decent health, someone who looks after their immune system, someone who exercises, someone who takes care of themselves. The COVID does not constitute a particular threat to me. Doesn't mean I couldn't get it, but then it doesn't, by the same token, I could get anything theoretically. But I'm not, I saw a meme. The memes are good. Someone says, Jez for Press, I read about it entering the eyes, was a study in India. Yeah, actually, just on India, by the way, worth pointing out to you folks, I did a video about India a month ago about what the media was in, the scaremongering that they were doing about India. And in that video, I said by the middle of May, the level of COVID infections in India would absolutely plummet. Well, guess what? It's plummeting. And why is that? I'll tell you why. Because on the 14th of April, the Indian health authorities reauthorized the use of other treatments, which I can't even say on YouTube because, well, reasons, but you can imagine what those treatments would be. One of them, in fact, rhymes with, sounds a bit like Ivor Morton, something like that, but maybe slightly different. But you know what I'm saying. So in India, folks, the Great Scare, it was just a scare, but it established in the popular mind what it was supposed to establish, namely that there's a great danger from this particular variant of the China virus, and therefore, because of that, we just have to keep it under great control, a great examination. And why might that be? Oh, I think you'll discover come June 21st or June 27th why the government is so keen to establish that in your mind. Hi, Sonia. Jane says, why does India let Gates and his vaccines anywhere near their people? Well, that's a very good question. Oh, by the way, I've put a little video up on YouTube, which you should watch. I think we're going to publish it shortly. And it is the connection between the BBC and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, we're having a little bit of trouble with YouTube at the moment, and all I'm quoting is facts. Factual evidence in the public domain. But as you know, factual evidence in the public domain is a problem on this particular channel, which is why I would really urge you, if you're not already doing it, follow me over on Brand YouTube, follow me in Odyssey, follow me on BitChute, and even in Rumble if you want. Those are other platforms where we can get essential information to you. Because at the heart of all of this, folks, we're in a war. It's an information war. On the one hand, you've got the legacy media, you've got the politicians, you've got big tech, you've got big corporations. They're all on one side. And us folks, well, we're on the other side. We are literally the David to their Goliath. But if I remember the story rightly, that didn't end too well for Goliath, did it? So let's hope history can repeat itself. Aidan points out, yes, I am also on Gab. I'm on Parler, by the way. Hooray! Parler's back, and I'm putting content back up in Parler again as well. So we're everywhere. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna use every possible position to fight back in this information war. So all I'm saying is that although YouTube is a nice, smooth platform, works really well, it's problematical. You know that, and I know that. Twitter, very problematical. Well, for me, I'm banished, of course, from Twitter wars, from the Twitter battlefield. And Facebook is similarly, so we just have to understand that these are the enemy platforms, but we should take advantage of them and as best we can. And that's all I'm trying to do. So the freedom, I'm just reading, catch me here, the freedom of international movement for landed nationals and right of return, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't. Problem is, when I'm doing this live, the comments last such a short period of time. By the time I've read them, they've gone. So anyway, I hope this finds you folks all well and enjoying your weekend and the increasing lunacy of this world in which we live. But I do recommend, as I say, if you can follow me in those other platforms, the links will be down below on my YouTube. So just make sure you do that, please, and go and click and follow there. You'll see lots of output going out on a daily basis, and none of it can be and I don't want to put any of it on this platform. Actually, I don't want to do that. This is basically YouTube is now an advertising window for far more interesting locations you can go to. But yeah, so there's that to talk about. And then one other thing I wanted to mention to you, just while I have you. Isn't Prince Harry so embarrassing? I mean, his little petulant Oprah session with his husband Meghan was bad enough. But now I see he's gone and done some more stuff where he talks about, the royal family let me down. Jez for Prez, are you banned on Twitter? Yes, Jez, I am banned for Twitter. I must not be ever allowed on Twitter because it's just too awful. It's too awful. I hurt somebody's feelings. I hurt people's feelings. That's awful. That's the worst crime in the world, Hurting someone's feelings is really bad on social media. Well, it depends. If it's leftists saying the most atrocious things about you, that's fine. Yeah, that's the way Twitter works. So on Twitter, the left, and it's a left-wing platform, by the way. On Twitter, you can say the most egregious things about people like me. That's fine. If I say anything, that's racist, white supremacist, possibly even. So, and Aidan, you're damn right. I was absolutely right in what I said about Marcus Rashford. And thing is, I say these things and then I move on. One of the cute things about Twitter, by the way, is which does please me enormously. Some of the haters who delighted in my forcible removal from that toxic platform. By the way, I've got 66,000 followers over in Parler. And amongst those 66,000, there must be a handful of little trolls from Twitter who migrate across, and they like to hate me over there. And some of them turn up in Gab as well. And some of them will turn up, no doubt, on YouTube giving a thumbs down. These people are obsessives. They have no life. And that's why they fit in perfectly on Twitter. And that's why people like me trigger them. I'm very pleased to trigger such people, mind you, and it does please me that I've got the power to attract them in such a way that they just can't stay away from me. So so the troll, that's a little bit for the trolls. Big shout out to the trolls, you sad bunch of low testosterone wimps. Big shout out to you. Yeah, hope you're all doing well in your mother's bedroom. Or underneath the stairs, wherever you might be, because I guess you'd be one of those sort of people who wear masks indoors, to stay safe. Can't be too safe. Let's be clear about that. So anyway, look, that's it from me for this Saturday morning here on the front line in the world where people actually wash down their shopping trolleys handles, where they faithfully conform to government regulations. A nation that once stood against Hitler, unable to stand against Boris Johnson. What have we become? I'll leave that one for you to answer, please. Drop your comments down below if you can. And thanks for your continued support here and on all the other platforms. I really do appreciate that, by the way, folks. You know, I know I mock the trolls and go off on some of these people, but really, it's good people like yourselves that motivate me to keep on going, and that's what I'm going to do. Won't be stopped, will not be prevented from saying things that need to be said. I never have said that I'm right. I've always only said I have opinions, and people are welcome, you know, to agree with them or disagree with them or whatever. But Legacy, thanks very much for the kind comments. Thanks everyone for being here. The sun is coming out. The sun has got its hat on. So all that vitamin C or vitamin D, whatever the sun gives me, oh, I've got to get that in my system. Unlike certain other things which I won't be putting into my system. But shh, it is not allowed on Twitter. So thanks, Sonia. Thanks for all your kind comments. And look, I'll catch up with you folks very soon. Keep watching this YouTube channel. As I say, I got a good video on the BBC, Bill and Melinda Gates. Go and watch it, share it, and give it the thumbs up as well. Hi RK, hi Legacy. You're all saying hello, and I'm saying, it's a bit like the Beatles song, hello, goodbye. You say hi, I say goodbye. Goodbye, Jane. Thanks for being here. See you all soon. If I can find a way to stop this, mind you. Oh, here we go. Bye, everybody.